Hello and welcome to episode 76 of Direwolf20's 1.16 mod pack. There's been a few changes because I thought it was absolutely boring to move the base, so I moved most of it. I still haven't completed it all, still. I know, stupid, but you know, shit happens. What the hell is that? You leave it for 10 seconds and then everything goes to shit. What the hell is that? That should be that, not water. Crap. Well, that's fun. Right, let's get rid of this. And apparently this. Right, now, how do we get the water out of this? Can you not put that in there? Really? Huh. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, so we're going to have to... Oh, I didn't realise that this was a problem. Okay. Let's get rid of that. We need to go back to the source of the problem, but in the meantime, we need to whack some fluids in here. So let's get this back down there, that one back in there, and then we can get rid of this, and then we can configure this to... There we go. Extract, and then we should be all good. But right, so that should be back up and producing. To be perfectly honest, I mean, no, why have you got water, you dick? Right, dumping and dumping. That's brine, so we don't want to dump that anymore, but we do want to dump excess of the sodium. That one's alright, so that's cool. Ah, crap, that one did it as well. So let's get all of that out until... There we go. Now we're idling there, we're dumping that one. So we want to idle this one and dump the excess of that. So the brine's all right in there. Brine is fine in that one, and in that one it's fine as well. So, right, production is back up with, what's that, chlorine, I think? Is it chlorine? Yeah, there we go. All right, so the chlorine then obviously comes into here, gets into the infuser with the hydrogen, becomes hydrogen chloride. The hydrogen chloride then comes over to here and basically goes into here. But because of all of the water and stuff in there, this is going to take a little while to come back up to speed. This is producing sulfur. Not a good thing to break down, but it should... Wait a minute. That looks like it's got water or... What gas has it got in there? Chlorine is in that one. And the chlorine is storing itself, which means that this is full probably of oxygen or some crap. Alright, let's get rid of this because that should be chlorine, not anything else. Right, so I guess we'll... Right, gas. So that's not a fluid, it's a gas. So let's get the gas hooked up again. We can hook all this back up, no problem, and then hook that back up. There we go. Right, so that's now... So the chlorine is now powering into here. That's now producing hydrogen chloride, which is going into here, which is obviously producing sulfur. Now, the sulfur is being exported to here in a chemical crystallizer, which is then becoming sulfur dioxide. Over here, it's then getting infused with oxygen to be sulfur trioxide. Then the sulfur trioxide is coming over to here to then be put with water vapor, and it turns into sulfuric acid. The sulfuric acid is then fed into all of these, which are taking the iron and making it liquid. Then the water is getting pumped into here along with the sludge, which then washes it and produces these little things. So there's the iron slurry, and then it produces these little tiny what we got, these little things, right? Those things then come all the way over here, and we've got more hydrogen chloride being produced in this setup. So we've got this setup going, and then that setup is then obviously here. So the hydrogen chloride those little pieces coming to here. There we go, they're at the end. So there's the gold ones, and then they get put into these, and then they get moved into this one and get created into these shards. The shards then get created into the dirty one. The dirty one then gets enriched, which if we do this, yeah, there we go. So that one gets enriched, and then at the very end, it gets smelted and goes into ingots. 5 times ore processing in a painful way. It doesn't quite keep up. This setup here is you know, producing salt, which I've just left. I mean, I did have it producing salt continuously, but yeah, it turns out that if you try and use salt, it just can't keep up. So producing this, the hydrogen chloride, the old-fashioned way with brine, is a lot better, and it can keep up. Now, this setup here obviously is backed up because of here, so this doesn't do too bad at keeping up. Now, obviously, we've got the water that we've kind of screwed up. So what I'm going to do is we are going to jump over and check the setup that we had. So over here, we're going to check the setup that we had set up in the desert. Now, we've got the brine production in the desert, which is over here. Obviously, we're going to go down here. There's going to be monsters and shit. So let's kill a couple of things, and then hopefully we should be able to sleep for the night. That should be enough, I think. There we go. Okay. So we'll just get rid of them. Alright, so we'll sleep for the night, and then I'll show you what I've done. Oh, look, 2 for 1. And a guy over there, and another one over there, and a witch. And the guy right over the end. Oh no, too low. Too low, there we go. Oh, well, I finally got him. Right, so over here, get rid of you. Right, so we've got these 2 here going into this tank, which is the blue tank. This tank here is the light blue tank. So, for some reason or another, when I've logged in, these have linked. You see that I had this on an extract, so these have actually linked. Not a good idea, because that's not what you do. So, if I pick you up, what we're going to do is we're going to flush all these. So let's unconfigure them. Now, what I have found is that we could, in theory, get rid of the water, because we've got enough water. I went a bit mad, as you can probably see, and I've put a couple more. So in here, we've got water pumping in at an alarming rate. So if we just have a look, as you can see, I mean, we're full with water, 4.6 million millibuckets. And these things are running at 800 FE, so 607,000, we're maxed. We could probably take it down a little bit, maybe 500, because we can only go up to 4.1k anyway. So we could probably take this down a lot further. We're gonna experiment. We're gonna leave that one going down, because I mean we're eating power, put it that way. Right, so this thing here, right, so it's not a gas, it's a liquid for a start. So let's just get the fluid one, shall we? So now if we set the configurator to do stuff, there we go, and then right click and right click again, we get the extract. So there's the extract for that one. We are not going to put the water back on. We've got enough water going in the system that this will actually keep up. As you can see, this is filtering into the... let's see, this is keeping up quite happily. And this is... yeah, there we go. So if we can get rid of the water out of these... how do we get rid of the water out of these? Can we just put them in my inventory and clear them? Can we just clear them? No, we can't. right? So I've got to get the water out somehow. So if we put one down here, and then we'll put an extract pipe, so we'll extract the fluid. No, we want it on that, so we want it on fluids. There we go. We can extract, and then we'll just extract that out. That is now nice and empty. This one is also nice and empty, and then we can basically just get rid of this. Yeah. So if we go back to our wrench mode, we can then do that. This is where the fact that they've got an internal pipe comes in really, really handy. Or an internal, quite a large internal amount. So what we will do is dump our, there we go. So now this is filled up. So that's cool. So over here, we've got red, blue, blue, which is using 2 of the brine production. We've got one over here, which is the light blue, blue, blue. And then we've got the light blue, blue, blue. Yeah. Actually, that is a slightly different light blue, blue. And this is a cyan blue, blue. So we've got the cyan blue, blue on 2, and we've got this one on here. Now, we could change it so that these are all the same, but I kind of like the fact that I can muck around and get a different quantity from each one. 453k is still... Has that gone down at all? Yes, it has a little bit. So what we could do is just up that to 500 maybe. And we should be able to see that this is climbing. Now, we can only get a max out of the 4.76 anyway. So, I mean, this is at 607. Well, the brine production's full, that's why. So what's the brine production full here? Yes, brine production. So that's not going to go up anymore until we can sort out the brine production. So let's go down and then into here. Right, so portals are all going to be here. Couple of levels down, we've now got obviously the mechanism, and underneath we've got the stuff as well for mechanism. So we're running 2 refined storages at the moment, 1 for each. Right, so we're not going to have another issue with the water, so we can shove that there, and we can also configure this to fluid mode, and then we can extract there, so that will drain. There we go. And this is all nice and full, which is exactly what I want to see. Right, cool. So that will be producing quite a bit of chlorine, which is pumping into here at, there we go, look at that, that's nice and full, that's cool. So that should be producing stuff quite well, and it's keeping up a lot better. It's not perfect, but I don't care, it's better than nothing, or it's better than I did, put it that way. I mean, that's, yeah, that took a lot of work. All right, so we've got now, let's have a look. We should be, there we go. Right, so we've got 2 of the ender tanks going into this setup, so that's quite nice. There we go. Look, the brine is now being properly converted, and yeah, we're seeing that this is still not keeping up, but who cares? It's doing a lot better than it was. This over here is obviously dependent on what comes through being washed, which is this setup over here. Now this setup, again, kind of relies on the fact that we've got sulfur, because the sulfur is then used to do sulfur dioxide, then it goes into the trioxide, and then it obviously goes into sulfuric acid, which then feeds these things. And the sulfuric acid is not being produced in a sufficient quantity. Now, I don't think it's any of these. I think it literally is the fact that we don't have enough sulfur. And obviously this whole process stopped. So having enough sulfur was not working. So these little things, obviously, if we can increase the chlorine production, then we can make sure that this happens faster. And as you can see, the chlorine production, I mean, the brine is being used. It's just being used at an an alarming rate. So what we need to do is probably build another tank and get another tank over, sorting that out. But, you know, that's for another day. You guys don't want to see me building those tanks and shit like that. But this is like, I might build a tank. I'm not sure. We'll see. This thing over here is keeping up. Again, actually, it's the brine that's not keeping up. I mean, that one for some reason is, but I don't think that's dumping excess there. Dumping excess. Is that actually exporting, or is that just the output is on? What have we got for this one? The output is that way, and the fluid is input only. So why the hell is this one not producing, or is it producing stuff and I'm just not seeing it because maybe it's backed up? Well, we've got that there, but we've also got this here. So we've got the backside of this doing exactly the same thing. And that is producing both, as you can see here, it's producing hydrogen to feed these ones in here, which take the chlorine and the hydrogen to hydrogen chloride, and that's doing quite well. But at the same time that this is producing hydrogen, it's also producing oxygen. So the oxygen production comes out of here, around and down, and then into here, which allows us to take the tin shards and put them into, or the, you know, any shard into a clump. The clump then gets crushed into a dirty thing, then it gets enriched, and then it gets smelted into, you know, the ingot of its choice. It's all backing up here because there's not enough sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid is really a problem, and yeah, that entire problem. I mean, look, we've got water vapor, so that's all that part of it. Then here you've got water vapor, sulfur trioxide. There's the sulfur trioxide, which comes back to here, which is not getting enough sulfur dioxide, which is not getting enough sulfur. So, I mean, how much sulfur have we got? Yeah, see, look, we've got a lack of sulfur production, and the lack of sulfur production is here. It's the hydrogen chloride. So, again, it's this setup that just can't keep up. The chlorine is working. There's not enough chlorine being produced, though, because it's being eaten continuously. Hydrogen chloride is being produced. It's just at a constant rate. And yeah, it's just being eaten too quickly. So, okay, we might need to increase the production of this, but expanding this again goes back to the brine production. We've got to expand the brine production to be able to support all of the stuff that we want to put in place. Not an easy thing to do, to be honest. We've got enough hydrogen, we just need that extra. Maybe if we put another chemical infuser down. I wonder if we've got another chemical infuser. Chemical washer, chemical dissolution, chemical infuser. There we go. We have got an infuser, so let's have a look at what we've got in this one. We've got oxygen in this one. And we need hydrogen. So, yeah, we're not going to be using that one anytime soon. Let's put that back and see what we've got in the bucket. There we are. Chemical infuser. Got a washer, rotary condensator. All right, so let's have a look at an infuser and let's see if we can get an infuser here. So we got any that is. All right, so we got 3, but I think they've all got crap in them. So let's just get 10 of these because we do use quite a lot of them. And what I'll do is I'll add another 1 to this to begin with, and we'll see where we go from there. So maybe the 1, I want to see how much it helps, if it helps at all. So we'll shove it on top. This one will automatically configure itself, to be perfectly honest. The only thing that we need to do is make sure that the dark blue goes out to the right. So if we kill that, and then go output right, and we'll put output right here as well. And then that, let's get rid of that. And then that one, so if we have a look at this one is configured blue, blue, and then blue, blue. So if we do exactly the same, then we can't go wrong. So that's blue and a blue. And then we've got what input from the left and input from the front. So from the front and from the left, and we do the same for here. There we go. All right, so now when I put down the pressurized tube, which is what? Gas? Yeah. There we go. So that fills up. So we are producing quite a bit of this stuff. We've got to be. It's just got to be processing it quite quickly then. Right, so we put that down there, and then we've got our export. It's obviously eating power. So let us hook the power up. Like so. And we can see that it is working. Yeah. So you can see by these ones, these basically, this amount will only power these ones properly. These ones will just sort of tick very, very, very slowly. So it's obviously, we've got the chlorine, we've got hydrochloride. So the hydrochloride is going to the right, which is fine. Auto eject is on. Hydrogen chloride, and that should be hydrogen chloride, and it should be... Oh, it's processing it insanely slowly. So let's get some upgrades in here. So let's put these away in the inventory, and then we get some upgrades. So we got one upgrade there, we need one of those, and we need some of these. So we need some speed upgrades, because obviously otherwise it's, you know, a bit pointless. I wonder if I put gas upgrades on that. I wonder if I have put gas upgrades on this one. I haven't. That will help. There we go. Now you can see I was wasting gas. That was the bloody problem. Thank you so much for somebody who put in the comments. I cannot remember who, not right now anyway. I did have it written down and I can't find the paper. However, thank you so much for saying that I can crush this, put it into gravel, turn the gravel into flint, and the flint into gunpowder, and the gunpowder into sulfur, therefore creating a never-ending stream of sulfur. Absolutely brilliant. So, we've got our sulfur. What other upgrades have we got on this? Yeah, so we've got all the other upgrades on there, so that's cool. So now that should help. That is actually helping quite a lot, actually. That's really good. Okay. I wonder if we could get a second one. We probably could, with the amount of stuff that we're processing, we could probably get a second one working, couldn't we? This should be backing up. If this is backing up, we should be good. Should be backing up in one of these. It's not backing up that much, but then we haven't put the upgrades on this one yet. So let's put the... Right, so that was all of those upgrades, and then this is this upgrade, and then we should see... There we go. This is working a lot faster than anything else. And then these should now backing up. No, they probably won't. Who cares? I mean, it's running pretty well anyway. So we're producing a decent quantity now of sulfur. We're not going to be backing up the sulfur right now. Yeah, there we go. Because we're using the sulfur. Well, actually, we're increasing slightly. We got to 13 that time, 15 that time, 18. Yeah, so that's cool. So we're increasing probably one every 7 or 8, maybe 5 seconds. As you can see, this is working a little bit quicker as well, because there's enough crap here now that this all works. And all of the upgrades are all supported in here. This is obviously doing the sulfur dioxide. This looks better, because you can actually see what it is. So the sulfur trioxide is actually being produced better. Yeah, you can see the sulfuric acid working a little bit better. We've still got a massive issue. We need to literally... I mean, there's too many machines, probably. But then we've got a massive backlog of crap to go through. Nickel dust. Let's take some of these dirty dusts out, because I need to get some of these processed. Dirty osmium dust and dirty lead dust. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of salt because I've just left it running. I pumped it full and then just left it. Right, so there's the dirty enriching stuff. So what we could do is put an exporter there, there and there. And we'll configure this so that we can input from the top, which is already inputting from the top. And then we'll put these in place just straight away. And then we'll split this, and this. And then we'll split that one, and that one. Now, the reason why I'm not doing the first one is because I want to keep that dedicated to iron, because iron is the one that we get too much of. So, you know, we might as well keep that dedicated and keep that going or flowing. Now, where is the one that I want to hook to? So the one that I want to hook to is this one here, because that goes to our second ME system. So if you notice, like we did the last time, this is our second ME system. It's only working for the mechanism stuff. This one over here is importing the finished ingots into our main base. So I need to pull this across here and come this way. Now where we need some more cable. There we go. I knew I had some more cable. There we go. And then now that should start filling up. There we go. So we've got the auto sort on and we've got all that stuff. We've got enough power, I hope. Let me go and check the power situation. Right, so that's what we've got to do. So obviously if I put a second one of these in, creating sulfur, that might help. If I then put a second row of these, it would probably help. Might come back and do that in a minute, because that seems like a decent plan. We'll create another, so we'll take the, yeah, see, look, we've got gunpowder. So gunpowder now, have we got enough gunpowder? Yeah, look, we've got, that's not the, it's not even being touched. So we could import the gunpowder rather than shoving it across, maybe. Import the gunpowder from here. Actually, we can set up another couple of these because they're just literally crush, or enriching, sorry, and then crushing again. And then this one here, yeah, so we could set up a couple more of these. Get that whole process going a bit quicker and have a second one of the injecting factories so that we can produce a little bit more sulfur. Then we can double up this and produce even more gas going into these, and maybe hopefully fill these up with some sulfur dioxide a bit better. We will come back and do that. However, for the tour, let's go do the tour first, right? So this is the mechanism level. This under here is basically all of the ores go into here from the quarries and go into the second ME system, which is on this level here, as you can see. And it literally all it handles is the ores and the ones that need to be 5 times. If we go up, you can see that I've got obviously a mechanism thing here. Then on this level is the under level. This is the main level. And as you can see over there, I've got the startings of a proper glass with all the spawners. I moved all of the spawners and took all the stuff, and it's all here ready and waiting for us to build that underwater system. Now, if we have a look at here, so if we go up again, there's our room. And then as you can see, we're starting to get to the levels now. This is the main level. This is the sub level. You can see the difference in the height. This actually is quite good. I like this. It's underwater. This is the sub level. This is the main level. And then we've got the next level up just before the top level. This is the top level. We're going to kill you because I don't like you. I'm going to kill you and you. And you, and you, and you. There we go. Yeah, so this is the main level. Obviously, the main level has the mining portal on it. The next level down, the immediate level down, is where all the portals are going to go. So I am literally going to make this whole thing wall-to-wall portals. Like, there's going to be portals everywhere. And what I will do is I am going to put little signs on them, obviously telling me where they are, but I'm also going to change the colors. So, but this is going to be the portal room. And then obviously this is the farming area on top. And as you can see, I mean, it goes off in... We've got plenty of room to expand. So, yeah. So if we go down to the bottom... Oh, yeah, there's my dog. See? All right, so this is the main floor. The base... There is another floor underneath, obviously, which is, you know, where everything else is. Right, so you've seen this. This is all the power generation. Now, I've switched this one up. It kept causing massive issues. So I'm using an item user to put the stuff into here now, and then when it gets to 2,000 blocks, we stop, and then when it gets more than 2,000 blocks, so if we have a look at dry ice, we got 2,000 blocks in there. Now, when they're used, that will then allow... There we go. As you can see, it puts 2 in there, creates another one, and then it turns itself off. So that basically is my workaround. What was happening, it was requesting things to be built, and it was putting multiples in there and then locking the machine. So I've switched that over to just a simpler design for that one. However, the design for the rest of the system works really well. So when you're trying to make stuff, I mean, this is the one that creates a lot of power, and it goes so quickly. It's absolutely brilliant. So over here, I have expanded the power options because I felt I kept draining the power. As you can see, I've put in another row of stuff. Auto mode is on, and it's being drained at a insane amount. As you can see, these are all being drained, except for this one and possibly... Yeah, I mean, look, the auto mode is on. The power generation that I am actually going through, this is a mining one. This one here is Synapse, right? Look, it's drained. Look at how much stuff gets drained. I mean, yeah, it's insane. There's Synapse there. And this one, 87 or 86,000 into the network. 80 at the moment for this one. Yeah, and like all the way along, these are literally being insane. I mean, it's just mad. The amount of power that I've actually got going through the system is quite horrendous. I didn't actually realize until I started moving stuff around. So if we have a look at the actual graph, as you can see, I'm inputting 900 killer FEs, 1000 FE a tick. And I'm using anywhere from 7 to 900 a tick. So my buffer is really small. I'm going to need to actually put a couple more. That's mainly because of the brine production. You know, whacking those brine things up to, 800 a tick is insane. I mean, it just uses so much power. But we still have some power in reserve. So I'm not that bothered. Max extract is 800,000 and the max generating is 82,000. So we are using 10 of these out of all of these ones, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in this row. It's 4, 8. We've got about 2 spare at the moment, so we've got to be careful. But I come down here and check this because this is my level, right? This one actually empties first. So if I can see that this one still has stuff and it's not changing, I'm happy. As soon as that starts changing, and then I build another couple of those. But actually building these is insanely quick anyway, so it's not too bad. We've got our little nutritional crap, which obviously keeps me fed. So I moved it down here so that I can then fill up my helmet. And we're all good, and it just auto fills itself back up, so that's cool. There is one of these, I think it's this one, there we go. Yeah, it's dedicated to my internal power, so it keeps my suit fully powered, and it also keeps everything in my inventory fully powered. So just one of those does that. I've increased the storage capacity to 98. They're 425. These ones are really small. We've still got 2 additional, almost 1 and a bit, or quite a lot of space. However, I have increased the 2 doubles down here. We're not using those 2. or that one, but just in case, I've increased the thing. This thing is working really well, actually. Oh, I've moved all the water and the fluid storage down here, so we've now got maximum storage and stuff. And I'll show you the fluid grid in a minute. This thing works really well. You just basically send everything to it, or you dump your things in it, and it will just go up to wherever there is space and add it into there. These are all the network transmitters. So all the network transmitters around the world are all linked into this one central hub, which is kind of cool. We've got the... Really? We'll cancel that because I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's for, and I didn't ask for those. So we'll leave those ones. Crafting monitors there. Then we've got the fluid grid. We've got 2.1 million megabucket, or billion megabucket. 2.1 million buckets of water. We've got liquid lithium coming out of our arse. We've got everything. Like, the only thing that we don't really have is brine, because I'm not importing brine now into the system. I'm actually using the ender tanks to transfer the brine because it was just too slow. Essence, we've got quite a lot of, we've got quite a lot of stuff. I mean, latex is still being produced, so we're good with that. We've got sludge and pink slime, and we got plenty of stuff. I still haven't linked up the machines to produce those yet, but I will do because they're multi-part machines. I will eventually need them. We got, quite a lot of cobblestone. When we need some more, I'll go and turn the miners or move the miners. As you can see, we've now got a decent amount of iron ingots again. So we're backing up the system for that. I've also turned off all the stuff that exports all the bad crap out of the inventory because we've got so much space we don't actually need to do that anymore. Plenty of gold again, which is good. We have still got some ores which are going into here, which I am filtering out, but just not as quickly as I should. I've also broken down the plant pots in the greenhouse because obviously I wanted to move that to upstairs, so we've got that. And then we've got 19,000 ender pearls, so I think we'll be fine for the moment until we get our spawners back up and running, and then we should be good. Dark prismarine, we've got a decent amount of sulfur. We've got a net gain on sulfur, which is good. Got plenty of polonium pellets, so if I want to build anything else for this stuff. We have got some common lost knowledge, which was imported from the beginning. So this is all in the system. I basically dumped it in the system because I didn't know what else to do with it. So when we actually come to sorting out RF tools again, there's going to be a whole floor for the RF tool stuff. So we can go through and we can sort all that out. As you can see, there's a ton of that. What I might actually do is give it a separate refined storage system just for them. Yeah, so any one of these, we basically do put it in there, and then it puts it into the system. We've got some waypoints set up, not very many. Over here, we've got the exporters for, as you can see, all the ores and stuff. And there's a second one here because, the first one wasn't going quick enough, so I just added another one. These are our imports. They work really, really well. We've now got, obviously, the water bucket thing set up again. We've got this thing, which I've actually put on pause. Because, yeah, like, we're not taking sugar out of the system at the moment to do that. It's got its own sugar system, and it's actually keeping itself. There you go, look, 2.9. It's actually keeping itself going. When this is below 3,000, then basically if we did export sugar into this, then it would be fine, but I've basically just turned it off. We don't need it. I mean, if I want XP, I've got quite a bit, so yep, not a problem. This thing is still working though, because over the back I've got all of I've moved all the ice machines. They're all over here now. Obviously working off of a relay. Then we've got a relay working for the plastic. And then over here, I've moved all the photogenic isolators. So we're actually producing chorus flowers. We're producing potatoes. Obviously that's been paused at the moment. We are producing sugarcane at a rate of knots. We're also doing river roses and lily pads. So we've got quite a lot of those. And then I've got a few of the sugarcane because I was having real problems keeping up with demand for sugar. So I just added a couple more. Over here, we have our water import. Now this setup can literally take any demand on the network for water. It keeps up with everything and makes sure that we're completely topped up to the max. So if anything happens, we're good. I mean, literally, when you see that, it gets taken out and then immediately switches back. I mean, that's 1,000,000 millibuckets of water that just instantly gets imported into the system. So that's a really good indicator that we're okay for water. Yeah, that is the base tour. Not all the base tour. So we've got our coke ovens again. We've got the imports, and we've obviously got that going into the system. Then we've got a line of obviously the latex. Over here are all of the multi-servo presses and the fluid encapsulator, which does lava in buckets. And as you can see, these are all the presses. So these will go onto here. Then this one's a sawmill, which I haven't put a thing in there yet. Then there's a pulverizer for sawdust. And then over here, we've got these. Now, the dissolution chambers, what I've done is I've locked the pattern in place and just fed it with pink slime. I've got so much pink slime that I don't have to worry. So I've locked it in place, and now we can produce those at a rate of knots. We've got water vapor in here for the ultimate injecting, and that is for the clay. And obviously when that gets going, that really does produce quite a lot of clay. We've got a fluid interface here, which does latex, and that goes into here. We haven't locked this one because we only got one pattern in there. It doesn't matter. And we've got the rest of the patterns for all of this stuff down here, and this is all latex. So these are all full up now, and all the machines are actually internal buffered full up. So these ones have 16 megabytes in. These ones have latex of a decent amount. So yeah, pretty cool. That's not too bad. And then down the end, I've got a little pattern grid because I was working away quite a lot on this. The ultimate smelting factories, where possible, have all been sorted, and you can see that we've got multiples of each, which I've showed you before. So that will get sorted out. We've also got the bucket. No, there we go. Purple concrete powder. So the concrete powder. So if I basically make 10 of the powder, whatever color powder we make, it sits in the system until I add it to here. And the reason why I add it to here is so that it will automatically get encapsulated, injected with water, and then it becomes concrete. So literally I can say, right, I want, sort of this much concrete, and go for it. And then all of a sudden you'll see it counting down from the powder, and you'll see that the black concrete is increasing, and that's because it's going into this machine and it's being injected. Now obviously there we go. So I don't have any speed upgrades on this, which is a good catch. So now that should then work quite well. So as you can see, the water is actually keeping up with it quite well. And that won't actually be impacting our system at all. We can import a lot more water than that at any one time anyway. And that went through a couple of stacks of that really, really well. And you see now we've got 4.3. So yeah, that's literally probably, to be honest, that one will probably change from one of these baby exporters to an advanced one, just so that we can get all of the concrete in. Then this row is all of the infusing factories for all of the extra, stuff that we need, really. This is all mechanism stuff. So these are all the parts for the mechanism. And then on this row, I upgraded everything so that, they've got absolutely everything, resonance all the way through. And then at the very end, we've got the multi-servo press. I think that one, there we go. That one does that. And then we've got one that does this, and we've got one that does, we've got induction smelters. So every single recipe for an induction smelter now has its own induction smelter. And then we've got the extras, which we couldn't put anywhere else because we ran out of space, and they also require liquid osmium and diamonds and cross as well. And we have Do we have a lot of diamonds at the moment? Yeah, we have 27,000 diamonds, which is why you'll see that I've actually just created this and stored this. So yeah, we're good. And yeah, that really is the end of the base tour. That was an entire episode. That is 45 minutes of going around the base. So there is a lot of work that is still yet to come. I mean, it's absolutely insane. I didn't realize how much crap I actually had. So as you can see, I'm not going to move the house. It's pointless. I don't need it. I have, however, taken down. I can't remember what it is now. Yeah, that stuff. I've taken that down. I'm going to leave the portal over there because I don't generally use it, but I think it looks quite cool, so I'm just going to leave it. I might fix the holes in the house, and I might block up this entrance here. All of the stuff in here now should be out. Yep, there we go. So everything in here has now been moved out. There's a couple of cables that I still have to go back and maybe clean up. As you can see, the greenhouse needs to be taken down, and then all of the outside mods need to be moved, and I'm going to move those later because I don't really use them at the moment. This thing, I'm not sure what to do with this thing, to be honest. I'm coming back to this, but I kind of like having this here, so I might keep it. I'm not sure. I'm going to think about that at some point. Right now, if we run and then fly, you can see up there we've still got the astral sorcery stuff to move, so I've still got to come back here and move that. And then obviously this little village has been growing, so I was playing around, and you know, obviously while I'm waiting for things to build and stuff like that, I've come over here and I've set a couple of extra bits up. You know, they're building stuff, more housing and all that kind of shit. And you know, to be honest, I am planning to move like these guys underwater. So I'm going to make an Atlantis type underwater base for these guys. If we go and have a look at, you know, just how big this place has got now, you can see that this is level 5 now, I think. Yeah, there we go. Building level 5. Managed to get it to level 5. So there is a little known thing where you can have multiple of these mine colonies, but you have to /abandon this and then add yourself as an officer, and then it allows you the ability to actually build another base elsewhere. We've still only got 4 citizens. I think it's because they keep getting killed. I don't think they like that very much. It's not my fault. They should defend themselves better. But yeah, so I've given them all the tools and stuff to do that. They just haven't done it. We've got this thing to level 5 now, I think. Yeah, I think this is level 5 now. I like this. I mean, I think this looks really cool. Is this level 5? Last Barbarian, Spores, Build Options. Yeah, Barracks 5. So that's level 5 now as well, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it would be nice to have something like this, but underwater. So that's the next plan. Obviously, just over here, through the little hole, or flying over the top, we've got, we've got our Brine Production, which, you know, 5 of these at max height. It's just insane. We've got this thing as well. If we are badly needing power, we could actually turn this thing on. But the last time I turned it on, I killed myself hundreds of times, and I don't really want the hassle. But we built it, so, you know, it's nice. Over here, I think what I might do is just add a couple more of these towers and attach them to here, so that, you know, you can see. So look, there's 2.1 and there's the maximum, right? Now this is on 800, which gives you 607. Yeah, so this can go back up to 800 every a tick. So each one of these each one of these things is doing 800, that's 1600, that's 3200, and so that's 4000 a tick. Just in this little area, just in those 1, 2, 3, or 5 things, which is insane. Now, if we go back home, where are we? Home. There we go. No, that's the wrong one. See, like, this is just insane. Sky thing, pyramid, sand, tetra thing, dungeon. What's this one? Nope, that's not it. Okay, so we will go and check out what our thing is called. Where are we? We go all the way down to the bottom. What is this thing called? What did I call it? I called it the basement. All right, cool, fair enough. Yeah, if we go over to here and then have a look at this, we've added it to the network, so you can see now that, yeah, the output is really relatively steady, but you can see the buffer is a lot higher now. It was 2.3, it's now up to 3 point something. So yeah, I mean, the input is still maxing at the moment. This is still holding, so I'm not too worried. As soon as that doesn't hold, we're in trouble and we need to add more. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty good. I'm quite happy with this, actually. I like the layout. I like everything on, like, you know, if I like to know that I can come up to here and all my mechanism stuff is in one place and my import stuff is in one place. My power generation is in one place, and, you know, and it's just going to get better. So yeah. This episode was brought to you by boring.com. It wasn't exactly exciting, didn't really do much. However, I am going to continue to move the rest of it across. I think what I'll do is I'm going to increase the production for the sulfur. I'm going to get some more of the stuff, the mechanism going. I just need to give that a little bit more of a boost. However, I think what I will do next time is I'm going to record, and we're going to build the underground spawner area under the water. I think that'll be kind of cool. I need to see if I've got some sponges. So in RF tools, I've got 20 sponges. Is that all? Okay. Yeah, so in RF tools, so I left that running, and obviously, you know, it's been generating, or it was, finding more research. And I did find the sponge one. So yeah, maybe we will play with RF tools to get some sponges so that we can go down and get that place dug out, or at least, you know, tidy. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I have been Syntosis. You have been awesome. Latest.